Ladies and gentlemen, in this period where everyone is rushing to top up their CPF, I now hear counter voices saying that, don't do it. If you put money in the S&P 500, you a hell lot more returns. If you put money in the property, you a hell lot more returns. So who wins? The CPF, stock market or the property market? Which type of investments give you the best returns and the best strategy? Well, let me unveil my opinion in this video, and the results are actually better proven. So essentially, this video compares three assets: stocks, property, and CPF, which is the best investment, because everybody is now making a decision whether to take advantage of their CPF top up that's now made available because of higher increase in caps and things like that. Now, I felt the need to share a voice of wisdom because I have utilized the CPF and stocks and to a limited extent property. So I'll give you all of my experience and I'll share with you. So first of all, we need to first understand we are not comparing apples to apples. We are actually comparing apples to oranges to pineapples. So stocks, property, and CPF are structurally very different instruments. And there are a lot of people just like to compare returns, right? And that's very dangerously misleading because they differ in risk profile and they differ in liquidity. They differ also in practical applications in terms of stress that is involved in our life, and they may not be applicable to all people. So, in the ideal world, you should do all three because you want to spread your eggs across many baskets. But the reality is, most of us at one point in time only have capital for one of these assets. So we have to decide what we want to do. Now, there is a theoretical world, is what I call ideal world, and there's a real world. In an ideal world, of course, we like to do all three, but in the real world, we have to choose a sequence or even focus on one to two, have to forego one. What are these? I will share with you. First of all, I never thought that stocks is something that I have to come and debate against because now a lot of people are saying that CPF is such a lousy return, 4% return, maybe even for some people 5% return versus what the S&P 500 can give, right? 8 to 10%. I must say that I'm a very early voice in Singapore in the financial educator space that cries out for everybody to look at index investing, where everybody then were focusing on stock picking and Singapore stocks and things like that. I was one of the first, if not the first, that come out prominently, encouraging everybody to look at S&P 500 and then Nasdaq and also other globally diversified portfolio. That was many years ago, right? More than a decade ago. So I must say that 8 to 10%, maybe even higher, if you are able to crash buy, gives you a fantastic return. It is a powerful return among all three assets. This gives you the highest return without a doubt. However, it comes with huge volatility, okay? And the drawdowns could be very deep, sometimes going as deep as 30, 40%, and frequently at 20% or so. Now, the minute you disrespect volatility is where you lose money, okay? And many of us are charged with greed and fear. And by the way, they belong to the same coin, just different sides. So if you have greed, you're likely to have fear. If you likely have fear, you have greed. So you will be hit very badly in stock investing. So this kind of draws down will cause people to panic and have a terrifying investment journey. So a lot of people just look at the returns without looking at the volatility. And when those volatility hits you, and when you have life impacting fortunes in the stock market, trust me, you will panic. Okay. And this is where I want to warn everybody. You cannot take a look at just the 8 to 10% or even 12% and say that, wow, that outdo the CPF. So Let me also share with you why people fail at stocks. I've seen people lose money again and again and again, and this is where I want everybody. Okay. And it's because a lot of people don't have tahanability. You think you have. It's not just financial tahanability, financial resilience. It's emotional resilience, right? It is something that you'll be test to your limits, and the stock market will ensure that you are test to your limits. So a lot of people just panic sell when crashes comes, okay, and withdraw themselves from the process. So uh, and a lot of times people don't realize this is when there is a crash is when you need cash the most, okay, and therefore there's a strong urge for you to liquidate your positions because it's likely to be an economic crisis. You're likely to have job insecurity, business insecurity, and your retirement wealth could be half, and and every of these dip will feel existentially challenging. So I just want to say that you can only do very well in stock market when fear is removed from the investing journey. Let me talk about property in the Singapore context. Now, let me just say categorically that I would regard investment property, which is as only second or third property. In Singapore right now, most people will not invest in a second property in the current rules because there's such a thing called additional buyer stamp duty. Yes, there's a quite a big chunk of old folks that they were lucky they bought their second or third property at times where they did not have an ABSD. So let's just disregard that. Good for them, okay, and good for you. But if you just take a look at your own current owner-occupied house, I would just say that uh, I won't say that they are not part of your wealth. They are, but they are not easily recognizable wealth. They are illiquid because if you sell it, where are you going to stay? It's hard to monetize. Now, there are people who say that, I will sell my big house to move to a small house. Well, I think yes, there are people that can do that, but I just find it counter to the logic of life and retirement that I have to work very hard in my youth to so that in my old time I have to downgrade and lose certain pleasures. So that's just me. I think that it's not something that I like to do. Now, this is where I want to say something about property. Yes, you can make a lot of money only under one circumstances: leverage. Now, leverage is the property's best feature in investment, is also the worst feature. Okay. So leverage magnifies the gains tremendously, right? So you borrow 20, you borrow 80%, 70% for the house, you get a leverage. The returns is magnified many times. Even though if you just look at the notional returns of properties, probably 2 to 3, sometimes you're lucky 4%. But the leverage multiplies the return. But the leverage also cause you to multiply the risk. Now, I won't talk about whether property can prices can go down or not. Let's just disregard that. But it certainly enslaves a lot of people career-wise because you're tied to a huge property loan. There'll be career inflexibility. You can't move. You are unable to be as mobile as you hope it to be, and there's a real financial and psychological bondage to your property as a result. So heavy debt is not what I like to enjoy. Okay, some people can live with it. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I just like to live a carefree life, and thank God, I managed to live my life without it. Now, when will property still make sense? Of course, for those people who have bought pre-ABSD times, okay, you grandfathered a better tax return, tax treatment to your second investment property. Maybe you're in a very stable job, government, just some very stable job, and as a result, you can get comfortable with leverage, and that's okay. Or you're happy to monetize your owner occupied house to downgrading later, and that's fine as well. Here, I also want to warn everybody: overseas property. I would really caution everybody to use that as an investment vehicle. Yes, it can go up. Okay, yes, you can still make money from it, but the risk multiplies many times in a sense of currency and exchange rate risk and so many type of risks. So I wouldn't consider overseas investment in property a easy investment. Now, method three is of course CPF, right? Especially right now, where the Medisave account gives you a chance to top up to 79,000 with some tax relief as well, and your special account, right, allows you to top up to you a powerful 4% return together. Medisave account 4% return. Some people say, "Wow, 4% return so lousy." 4% return when compounded, it's a powerful, powerful wealth multiplier with no risk. Okay, with no risk. Now, maybe is overly exaggerated to say no risk. There is policy risk. There is liquidity risk, right? Now, but there are no volatility involved, right? There's zero panic. Even when Singapore was hit by COVID, the return rates did not change, right? So I would say that this is something that we truly enjoy and is a great gift from the government. Now, it does comes with loss of liquidity in early years, okay, especially in my life. But past 55 years old, you can draw out as much as you want once you hit your full retirement sum. Now, some people might say that, oh, you put in, cannot take out. Same for your property and stocks, what? Right? Well, if you want to take out, then you will disrupt the compounding power. As simple as that, right? Stocks is something that if you withdraw and you withdraw out, you will stop the compounding power of S&P 500. Same for property. You take money out, you disrupt the process of compounding. So it can't say that it is a hell lot more liquid in property and stocks. But yes, if you want, you can take up. But past 55 years old is also very liquid for your CPF, right? So I think this is where I think there's some over exaggeration about the illiquidity of CPF. Well, maybe I share with you some experience that myself and my wife have taken in our early years. I was lucky I met Mr. So Chin Heng, a very wise man. He taught me this powerful investment technique. So in my late 20s and early 30s, we rushed, okay, to top up our CPF to our full retirement sum. At that point in time, it's called CPF minimum sum. They just changed the name. And we gave up at a very early age and make a decision that we will not have private property aspiration, okay, until our CPF is really full. Even right now, my CPF is really full. We still happily stay in our HDB, okay. And at that point in time, we really were living very frugally. We were rushing to top up our special account as fast and early as we can, and we exercise frugality in our lifestyle and skip expensive vacations. We spent a lot of time in Malaysia. It was a wonderful place to have a cheap holiday, and every cent that I could find, I'll try to top up my CPF special account and my Medisave account. Well, by early 30s, both of us have hit our full retirement sum and our basic healthcare sum. And that's really a big decision that we make while we are young. Today, we are yielding powerful fruits from it. So, CPF gave us a powerful psychological safety net. And as a result of this safety net, it gave us not just financial returns, it gave us financial and career freedom. Because of that, we could choose to pursue careers that take a lot of risk and yet have the peace of mind to know that even if we fail, we know that our retirement is still secure. So, and I've taught many people that it is very possible to hit 10, 15, $20,000 monthly income when you have a firm foundation of CPF Life. And I think this is something I teach in my course a lot. And I strongly encourage everybody to top up your CPF as quick as you can. So even to your enhanced retirement sum past 55 years old, is a journey that I definitely will take. I encourage everybody who have the financial ability to do so. Now, because of our firm foundation in CPF, when we were reaching our third late 30s and early 40s, we realize that, wow, okay, we are really financially free, right? Because of the frugal lifestyle we have, no low HDB loans, okay, and a secured retirement, we decided to take a leap to pursue our passions of our life, which is entrepreneurship. So let me just say this categorically clear. We dare to leap into entrepreneurship because we have the CPF backing us up, right? That's a key thing. And let me just say this for people who don't know this about entrepreneurial life. Entrepreneurship is very brutal. It is very high stress, very difficult, high uncertainty, but is deeply fulfilling, and that's strongly aligned with my passion. Okay, and my wife passion as well. So the key thing is, uh, because we have got safety nets, therefore we went into entrepreneurship. That enables to do quite well as an entrepreneur. This is also where I want to highlight and share with you that because we have CPF covering our backs, we now have gone through a long entrepreneurial journey. We now own 5 companies that we built from ground up. Okay, all of them are profitable. All of them are decently doing well. We have got 3 angel investment. I have actually one that I've made earlier, but yeah, exited, so we made some money out of it. So, and of all these, 3 are heading towards an IPO. They have started the IPO journey. So, hopefully, the IPO will come through and I can have a good exit as well. So, I think that we could not have done this if we don't have the CPF financial safety net backing us up. And this is also what I want to say is that I know that a lot of people think that stock market is a very good return as well. That is true, I must say. And I do yield about 14 to 15% from S&P 500. So I'm actually much more than what S&P 500 traditionally will give of 8 to 12%. That's because I crash buy. And I share with everybody my kung fu of crash buying in my live streams already. And please go and watch them. There's one more. I'm going to purge all of them very soon. Now, I just want to say this. I can never achieve this kind of S&P 500 returns if I don't have the backing of my CPF. So think of think of CPF really as a firm foundation, okay, firm foundation that is an enabler of us making outsized wealth returns in other investment. So in closing, right, really CPF builds the foundation that enables all of us, okay, to do well in other investment, be in stocks or property. Now, of course, right, there are many roads that leads to Rome. Some people say I can become very successful investing in crypto. Some people say I can do very well selling bubble tea. Some people say I can do very well in property, overseas, whatsoever. Good for you, right? I can only share with you my journey I've undertaken. I cannot profess that this is the best way, but this is one of the way. And of course, other people who do much better than me, of course, so many, right? Gazillions of them. But I take a very low risk approach, a safe approach towards building wealth. And you should, take advantage of this experience that I share with you and adapt some of it, not necessarily all of it, to suit your own lifestyle, your personality, your family situation, your financial situation. So I really think that true wealth is built with acceleration if you can remove the fear from your financial journey. So CPF helps me do that. So, food for thought, guys. This is CPF topping up season. I strongly encourage you all to think about it, okay? And may you all do very well financially. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my live stream. Bye bye.